Exploding from the pages of Spawn, America's #1 comic book. Spawn Ultra Action Figures, blasting into combat with their mortal enemies. Spawnmobile versus Violator Monster Rig. Menacing Clown, Chapel, Badrock fights back. You can control the action in Spawn Alley with all of the Spawn Ultra Action Figures. Figures, playsets, and vehicles, each sold separately. Spawn from Irwin.
Hey guys, it's Overlord here, back again with another edition of Throwback Thursdays. I believe we're on number 9 now, which, fun fact, that's the Circle of Hell Malbosia rules. And how fitting, because today we're going to be taking a look at the Todd Toys / McFarlane Toys Spawn Series 1, at least I believe it was Spawn Series 1, it's on the back of all the comic books, Violator Monster Rig. And this Throwback Thursday is very special because it was requested to me by a subscriber, Mr. Writer Origin, so I hope you enjoy this, sir. It's not easy to film because this thing is massive, so I'm going to do my best to give you quality entertainment and an insightful review. I already got to straighten the camera out. It's sticking to the floor because it's 90 degrees in here. That said, continuing the trend with McFarlane Spawn stuff we've been taking a look at recently anyways, comes with a mini comic. Not a mini comic, what am I just saying? This isn't Masters of the Universe. But he comes with a very much not mini comic. This is a very large comic. Look at that. Look at the size of that. It's got the Violator Monster Rig on the front. And for whatever reason, they chose to tape this to the packaging. There's a piece of tape somewhere in here. Either way, I can't figure out where it is. Where's the tape? I'll put it in the tape page. Ah, my comic is torn because of the tape. Ain't that just meh. So, you gotta get your own comic to see what's in here, but I can only assume this monster truck is in here. But on the back, you can see all the other stuff in Spawn Series 1. Please, for the love of God, don't ask me to review that playset. I have it. Of course, I'm a sucker. But man, I don't know the first thing about reviewing a playset. I haven't even reviewed Origins Grayskull yet. I mean, I don't have it, but oh man, that'll just be a pain in the brouhaha. So, getting to the meat and taters. Disclaimer, this truck does not come with... Where'd he go? Does not come with a Violator figure. You have to buy that separately. Each, though, separately. I don't know why they couldn't throw you a bone and put him in there, but chances are you already had the Violator figure, so it didn't matter. Or if you're like me, you're insane and you have two. One to display with the rest of Series 1 and one to display with the Violator Monster Rig. Let's just say I buy a lot of lots, people. Or I used to buy a lot of lots. A lot of lots. And I was able to acquire these things for next to nothing. So that's why I have them. And shout out to a local buddy, Mr. Robert Scott. He sells at flea markets and toy shows. I picked this up off him for, I think, $30 boxed. And I think I still have the box. I use it to store stuff in, so there you go. But getting into the meat and taters of this thing, you can, of course, take this top piece off to put the Violator inside here. That is where he sits. If I tilt this, you can see there is a seat there. Now, I will say he is a bit tricky to get in there. And to save time, I'm going to put him in there off camera for comparisons. So, stay tuned for that. But the roof does just kind of sit on there. It doesn't really peg in, even though it's got, like, pegs on it. There's nothing for it to peg into. So I kind of wish this was a little bit better than it is. It just seems like an afterthought. I mean, maybe that's exactly what it is. Maybe this roof is an afterthought. Maybe I wasn't supposed to have this originally. They just added it afterwards. But you can clearly see the way my finger is like getting stuck in here, there is not enough clearance for Violator to sit here and this roof to also be there. This is the seat inside here. You gotta leave the roof off to get him in. I usually display mine with the roof off, but I might change that just because it looks ridiculous. Next up, it does come with a rib cage, which opens in the back. You can wear it as a wristwatch. Or you can open it at the bottom and stick figures in there. I'm pretty sure this thing is broken. I think it's split at the seams, so I may need to have my dad glue this thing together. Yeah, it seems to me like this thing was originally glued together, but is since kind of broken. Or the glue just wore off or something. I don't know, but I may have him go in here and try and glue this back together if he can. So I don't think it's supposed to split like that, but it does make it easier to put figures in. Well, get figures out really. It doesn't make it easier to put them in. But it does come with that, if you're into that. I think it's cool. I think you could probably even use this with like Motu guys. It's about the same size. If I can put this somewhere where it's not going to get in the way. Next up, it's got this big old kind of handle here. You can see it is connected to the jaw. And it can chomp. You can shove your whole hand in there and have him take a bite out of you. Ow, that kind of hurt. And then, one of my favorite things, he's got these big old cannons on the side. And you can load them up with these spikes. You actually got to put the cannons in yourself. These are separate pieces. But you load up the spikes, you press the button, they fire out like this. And they're basically like little horn pieces. You load them up. I typically have them like that. I don't have them locked because, well, the one on the other side has a tendency to shoot out and make me pee myself because it scares the crap out of me. So, yeah. But turning this around, he also has this little capture claw, which is something the Spawnmobile has, which is interesting. But you can pull this out, this long claw out, and it can grip onto not much. I mean, you'd have to heat this up to get a figure's arm in there, but it does open up a little bit. Or you can roll this back up via the little spike on this kind of growth on the back of the truck here, and you can have it stored. Now I will say I wish there was, is that the peg that's supposed to sit in here? Hold on. Is there a peg for this? This has a peg. This clearly looks like a peg here. Is this supposed to go in here? Because it doesn't go anywhere else. I don't know. I don't see really a good designated area for this claw to sit. I typically just kind of clip the thumb of the claw in here. It's usually where it goes. And I'll wind the line up all the way. Or I'll wrap it around this bar up here, because it is at least out of the way if I do that. Or, you know, you could probably wrap it around the mound itself if you want. That'd probably be better aesthetically. But taking a look at this, just to get a better look at all the details. Look at this thing, man. It is straight out of Twisted Metal. It does roll, of course. Kind of obvious. But if we turn it to the front, I'm just going to shoot this out to avoid all complications. But if we turn this to the front, you can see that ugly mug it's sporting. And if I do this, it looks really cool. I think it would be sweet if someone could fit like a light behind the eyes here and make it glow. I tried to do that with my iPod, but it's a little too long, so I wasn't able to do that. So if somebody has like some little light cubes, you could throw them in there and post a pic, tag me in it or something. That would be awesome. I would love to see what this thing looks like lit up. But you can see it just has all kinds of crazy spikes and things all over it. It is warped. There are pieces not glued in correctly. It's actually pretty heavy. I'll give it that. It's pretty heavy. It's heavier than I thought it would be, given the quality of some Spawn things coming out at this time. I can't find out where that went. There it is. But I love it. I love how kind of crap it is. It wouldn't be good otherwise. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't really adore the first two waves of Spawn figures. I think those are the best waves. I know they got better with sculpt and paint later, but those broke really easy. These had some sturdiness to them. They might not look the best, the most detailed, the most whatever, but they had some sturdiness to them, even though this roof has much to be desired. And this bone cage thing is kind of split at the bottom for some reason. But look at that. That looks cool, man. That looks really cool. So yeah, this is a fun toy. I think it's a fun toy. It looks awesome. People see this, they're like, what in the Sam heck is that? So that being said, I guess there's only one thing we got to do. We got to compare this to the Spawnmobile, and that's going to be kind of challenging, but I owe it to you to at least do that. So with that being said, let's take a look at some comparisons. First up, and as promised, here is the Violator monster rig next to the Spawnmobile, and as you can see, I had to rearrange things a bit for comparisons this time because these two vehicles take up so much real estate. I hope you guys are happy with this because this was not easy to do, but as you can see, the Violator monster rig takes it on height, whereas the Spawnmobile takes it on length. Let me know if you want a Throwback Thursday on the Spawnmobile. I'd be happy to do that for you sometime in the near to distant future. And as ridiculous as it may seem, I still got a reputation to uphold, so here is the Violator monster rig next to our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus and the Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn. So with that being said, time to wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, while I know this isn't the most perfect vehicle ever, it looks too cool for me to complain about those things. Just look at it. It looks like something straight out of Twisted Metal, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I wish the Violator sat in there a little better, had something to keep him from falling out because, well, the roof doesn't do a very good job at that because it just gets in the way. That said, he looks awesome sitting in there, and this is probably how I'm going to display this thing. Again, I know it ain't perfect. It's from 1994. It's not going to be perfect. So that being said, if you are at all a Spawn fan and you like crazy looking stuff, or you like crazy looking stuff, doesn't matter. We don't judge here. You need to pick this thing up. It's amazing in its crappiness. Just like the Violator Bendy figure. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's edition of Throwback Thursdays. I hope Ryder Origin enjoyed it. I did this for him. Shout out to him again. Don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload more content to the channel. Got to show that algorithm who's boss, right? And as always, don't forget to hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions and leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this rig, this monster of a vehicle. Whether you want it, love it, or hate it. But remember, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.